live. Hi, it's Super Sarah. I wanted to come live for a minute today. My phone doesn't always like to connect, so I was surprised by it, that it actually connected for me. But I am actually going to go on a rant. I try not to do these because they're usually pretty negative, and I usually get haters when I go on a rant. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I just fired my son's doctor. Actually, I didn't fire my son's doctor. I fired the medical assistant in training to my son's doctor because he took a very bad fall yesterday and we were in the emergency room and we needed to follow up with them and get an appointment to make sure he's all right, just as a normal follow-up with the physician he's been seeing now for years. And she's like, oh, well, let me see if I have anything available and I'll call you back in just a moment. And she hung up. She called me back like 10 minutes later. Okay, well, I've got you down for, the 10th at 3:30. And I'm like, did you even ask me what day or time would work for me or my son or my schedule or my son's schedule? Well, no, but that's the only appointment I have available. And I said, well, maybe I need to find a doctor who has more than one appointment available in 45 minutes. She's like, well, this was the only time we could work you in. And I said, my son deserves better care than we can squeeze you in over here. I don't want my child to be squeezed in to somebody's schedule. That's not the type of care that I want for my son when he could have been paralyzed yesterday. He could have been badly, badly injured yesterday. Thank God that he fell 6 feet and he only has some really bad bruising on his ribs and his back. They took good x-rays. He didn't have a head injury. I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful. But then when I am treated, or not me even, but my child is treated as if he's an inconvenience, as if we're just going to squeeze him in here. We're going to see what we can do. Well, let me see if the doctor will see him. That's not the type of relationship that I want my son to feel, that I want to feel when I'm calling my healthcare provider. I understand they're busy. I'm busy too. Everybody's busy. But I'm not willing to bend over until I break for anyone. Not for a client, not for a doctor, not for a counselor, not for the mailman, not for a service provider, nobody. I'm not willing to bend until I break for anybody. And I have certain standards when it comes to healthcare, especially for my children. I have standards in other areas of my life, and usually these standards are invisible. The boundaries, nobody sees them. They're invisible boundaries. But when somebody slams up against one of your boundaries, when someone disrespects you, or when someone tries to treat you like you are less than, you are not deserving, you're not very important, maybe we can help you. If somebody does that to you, or if you set a boundary and say, hey, I'm not working from this time to this time, so I prefer not to receive messages, and someone sends you 4, 5, 6, 7 messages, and by 8, 9, 10, they're angry that you're not responding to them, then it's time to fire them. And that's what I did. I said, ma'am, you're fired. I'm not going to bring my son into you. I'm going to find another healthcare provider. And I have not had the gall to do that for years because we've been on state medical insurance because we couldn't afford any better. But guess what? Now we can afford better. And now I don't have to feel like I don't have any choice but to accept the scraps of care, the tiny little minutes in between the real work that my child's going to get. I don't have to accept that. I'm going to say, that's not acceptable. That's not good enough. And I'm going to say the same thing in my business, in my household, in my day-to-day, in my relationships. I'm going to say, that's not good enough. That's not acceptable. You're fired. I've fired myself before. I hold myself to those same standard. I have told myself, Sarah, you can't do that anymore. You cannot do that anymore. Would you hire yourself? Would I hire myself today? Would I hire myself? Am I on time for my appointments? Am I present for my clients? Am I serving them with confidence? Am I over-delivering for them? Do I make them feel confident and excited and no more frustration? Do I help them leave frustration behind? Do I do those things? I ask myself that because I would not want to work with me if I felt like I only got the scraps in between, the tiny moments, can I fit you in here or there? No, that's not the way that we should treat people, and that's not the way that we should treat ourselves or anyone else. So that's my rant. My rant today is fire. You're fired. You're fired. Whether it's yourself, your doctor, your MLM, your partner, your job. I don't care what it is. You decide what you're willing to accept. And when it gets to a point where you are just, I'm not willing to accept that level of care anymore. I'm not willing to accept, oh, you're 2 minutes late. I'm sorry. We have to reschedule you. Are you serious? Yeah, you're 2 minutes late. They need that time for their appointment. You're supposed to check in 15 minutes early. And she looks at the imaginary watch on her. This is how the staff has treated me there. They look at the imaginary watch. She goes, yeah, it's a 30-minute appointment and they have other appointments. So we're going to have to go ahead and reschedule you. I have never wanted to come unglued more than I want to come unglued. As I'm holding the screaming, crying baby and holding the hand of the 4-year-old, and we made it there by the skin of our teeth, and we're soaking wet because it's raining outside, and they're going, oh, you're 2 minutes late. We're going to have to reschedule. That's not a way I want to live, okay? It's one thing to be respectful of people's time. So obviously, if you arrive 15 minutes late for an appointment, whether it's on the phone, in person, don't expect to keep that appointment, okay? You need to respect other people's times. But everyone understands emergencies. Everyone understands life, things come up. Don't expect perfection. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying raise the standard up so high that, oh my God, you're 30 seconds late for your appointment. We're rescheduling. Don't be like that. That's how my medical provider is, and it's to the point where I detest going in there because I'm sure I did something wrong that they're going to tell me I did wrong. And when you go at life, or when you walk through life with the motivation of making sure you're right and making sure other people know they're wrong, it makes you come across as a very, very condescending, critical, judgmental person. And that is the way I have unfortunately been coming across for a long time. And so I'm having to put a lot of work into that. I don't expect perfection. I expect people to make mistakes. I expect people to stumble and fall. I stumble and fall all the time. But when it is a consistent behavior, it becomes a standard. It becomes a way of living. It becomes routine. And when we start accepting these things complacently in our life as, it's crap, but it's just the way it is. It's crap, but it's just the way it is. No. Dig deep. Fire it. Get it out of here. Do not accept crap. Do not accept disrespect. Do not accept being belittled. Just do not accept it. Just decide for yourself that I'm going to give better, and therefore I'm going to get better. And when people give you crap, simply say, no. I'm sorry. This is not the way I do business. No, I'm sorry. This is not the way I have conversations. No, I'm sorry. That is not a level of care I'm willing to accept. You have that right. I give you permission. If you need someone to give you permission, I give it to you. I give you permission to not accept crap in your life. I give you permission. So, I hope you guys enjoyed my rants. I hope no one hates me. And honestly, I don't care. I don't care if you live in Lincoln City and you work for the hospital and you think they're all just doing the best they can. They're not. They're not doing the best they can. It's just like at the outlet mall here in Lincoln City. We have a little tiny town. We have seasonal employees. In summer, we're very busy, and in winter, we're very dead, so it's hard to keep good employees in the outlet mall. And so the level of customer service you receive in the outlet mall is atrocious. I mean, you walk in the store, and they're like, you have 12 minutes until we close. What can I help you find? And I'm like, nothing, I'm just looking. Oh. And they start vacuuming right next to you because they want you to leave. And that's just, oh, that's Lincoln City. It's how it is. No. No! No! I told a district manager once, because I was a retail manager for a while over at the outlet mall. I told a district manager once, I said, the level of service that you are going to receive in this store in Lincoln City is identical to the level of service you're going to receive in the Jansen Beach flagship store. I guarantee it. Why do I guarantee it? Because we are trained by the same company. And the same standards in Lincoln City are the same in Jansen Beach. And I'm telling you, it does not matter where you are. You can hold your standards. You don't have to expect other people to perform to your standards. Just so I'm being clear. We can't expect other people to perform to our standards. We can't expect that. We can, however, hold ourselves to them and then set the boundary or make the decision that I refuse to spend money in an establishment where I was disrespected. They don't have to raise the bar. Those four stores that I went to on Friday looking for shoes for my daughter, where we weren't greeted, we were told it was time to leave. I can't remember the other two stores we went to offhand, but I remember those things because I worked retail, so I'm aware of that stuff. I'm not going to write a letter to the district manager. I'm not going to write a letter to the mall. I'm not going to call and complain. I don't care that much about them. But you know what I do know? I will not spend money in there. We ordered her shoes off Amazon, and they already arrived yesterday. I would rather spend my money with Amazon than spend my money over it locally because of such crappy service. And that's what it is. They're fired. They don't get my money. They're fired. That clinic will not get my business anymore. They're fired. I don't have to accept shit. You don't have to accept it. I cussed. I was supposed to try to say crap, but I said it. All right, guys. I'm ranting. But it was a good rant because I feel better. I feel better being able to say that it's okay. I gave myself permission to say no. It's not enough. It's not good enough. All right, I love you guys. Bye.